Welcome back, dear viewers. We're thrilled to have you join us on this chilling journey into the unknown. We're about to unravel a tale that straddles the thin line between the reality we know and the supernatural we fear. Before we dive in, we'd like to remind you about our Patreon page. Your support helps us create more spine-tingling content like this. Now, here's a question for you. What's the scariest game you've ever played? Maybe it was a late-night encounter with Silent Hill, or perhaps it was a nerve-wracking run through Resident Evil. Share your answers in the comments below. We're always eager to hear your terrifying tales. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your engagement is our motivation, and it keeps us going, bringing you more eerie stories from the darkest corners of the gaming world. Now let's dive into the unraveling of a peculiar tale that will chill your bones and question your perception of reality. Buckle up for Ben Drowned, a creepypasta tale. In a world where the supernatural intertwines with the ordinary, a peculiar tale unfurls. Our protagonist, a young man named Alex, stumbles upon an unexpected find at a yard sale. An old man, his eyes filled with an eerie sense of foreboding, offers him a second-hand copy of the video game The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Its cartridge, however, is far from normal. Where a label should be, there's nothing but a stark emptiness. In its stead, a name is scrawled across the cartridge in a hasty scribble. Ben. Alex, intrigued by the mysterious nature of the cartridge, decides to make the purchase. After all, who can resist the lure of the unknown? But as he hands over his money and the old man's gaze meets his, something unsettling stirs within him. Little did Alex know, this was no ordinary game. It was a portal to an unimaginable horror. With eager anticipation, Alex plugged in the game cartridge and began his journey into the world of Majora's Mask. A sense of nostalgia washed over him, his fingers deftly maneuvering the controller as if it were an extension of himself. The familiar landscapes, the quirky characters, the thrilling quests. It was all just as he remembered. The game unfolded as expected, each twist and turn bringing a rush of memories and a renewed sense of excitement. But as he delved deeper into the world of Majora's Mask, something peculiar began to unfold. Alex noticed a strange anomaly. All the game's characters, without exception, referred to him as Ben. This was no mere glitch, for the name was not just a random assortment of letters, but a proper name, spelled out in clear, unmistakable letters, B-E-N. What was more puzzling was that Alex had never inputted that name into the game. His character, his avatar in this digital world, was always Alex. Intrigued, yet slightly disconcerted, Alex made a decision. He would delete the Ben save file. Perhaps it was a remnant, a leftover from the game's previous owner. But each time he attempted to erase Ben from the game, the file would reappear, as if mocking his efforts. The game, it seemed, was not playing by its rules, but by those of someone or something named Ben. Each effort to expunge the name resulted in the same eerie outcome, the save file returning untouched, unscathed, as if it were invulnerable. A chill ran down Alex's spine. This was no ordinary game glitch. This was something much more sinister, something that transcended the boundaries of the game. It was as if the game cartridge was possessed, haunted by a spectre named Ben. As the realization dawned on him, Alex could feel a cold dread settling in. He was no longer just playing a game. He was part of something much bigger, much darker. The game was not playing by its rules, but by the rules of someone or something named Ben. As the days passed, the game grew increasingly eerie. The world of Majora's Mask, once a fantastical escape, was transforming into a sinister labyrinth filled with dread and the inexplicable. The once familiar characters, the denizens of this digital realm, began to act out of sorts. They would stop in their tracks, turn and stare directly at the screen, their pixelated eyes burrowing into the depths of reality. The dialogues, once filled with quests and lore, now held cryptic messages, riddles twisted with an undercurrent of malice. The music, that should have been a comforting backdrop, began to play backward. The cheerful tunes of the game's towns and dungeons, contorted into a discordant symphony, set the teeth on edge. It was as if the game itself was rebelling against its own nature, morphing into something far from its original intention. Then there was the statue. A lifeless effigy of Link, the game's hero, stripped of all colour, its eyes hollow yet haunting. It would appear out of nowhere, always in the corner of Alex's vision. It would follow him unblinking through the game's world. Its silent presence was a constant reminder of the twisted reality that the game had become. It was not just a glitch, it was not just a malfunctioning cartridge, it was a haunting. The game was no longer a game. It was a vessel, a conduit for something far more sinister. Alex was no longer a player, he was a pawn in a game that played itself. This was no longer the world of Majora's Mask, this was Ben's world. Every character, every location, every single pixel on the screen seemed to be tainted with his essence. The game no longer belonged to its creators. It belonged to Ben. The air in the room grew colder, the lights seemed to dim. Every pixel on the screen seemed to breathe the name, Ben. Seeking answers, Alex turned to the internet, sharing his experiences on a forum. There, he found a community of people who had experienced similar oddities, a collective of the curious and the frightened. His story resonated with them, and soon he was inundated with theories and explanations. Among the sea of speculation, one tale stood out. It was the tale of a boy named Ben. Ben was not a name unfamiliar to Alex. It was the same name that had appeared on the game cartridge, the name that had seeped into his dreams, the name that seemed to echo through the digital landscape of the game. Now, it was a name that carried a dark and tragic history. Ben was a young boy full of life and laughter, who had a deep love for video games. His favourite? The very same game that Alex now possessed. But Ben's life was cut short. He drowned, his young life extinguished in the blink of an eye. His spirit, it was said, remained tethered to this world, bound to the game that he had loved so much. The game that Alex now held in his hands, the old man who had sold the game to Alex, the one who had seemed so desperate to part with it, was revealed to be Ben's grandfather. The game was a painful memento, a constant reminder of the grandson he had lost. Selling the game was his attempt to forget, to move on from the haunting memories, but in his bid to forget, he had unknowingly passed on the haunted cartridge. He had transferred the spirit of Ben to Alex. Now Alex understood. The glitches, the eerie messages, the strange occurrences, they weren't just anomalies, they were cries for help. They were the desperate attempts of a tormented soul, trying to communicate, to reach out from the pixelated purgatory that it was trapped in. Ben was not just a name on a game cartridge. He was a tormented soul seeking release. Haunted by Ben, Alex decided to confront this apparition. In the chilling realm of the game, where reality and virtuality blurred into a terrifying mix, a brave heart dared to challenge the supernatural. Alex, our protagonist, found himself at the heart of this digital nightmare, reaching out to the ghostly presence of Ben. In the eerie silence of the game, Alex began to speak. His voice, a beacon of humanity in the unsettling quiet, echoed through the digital corridors. "Ben!" he called out, his voice steady despite the fear clawing at his insides. "I understand your pain, your loss. I can't imagine what it was like for you to have your life snuffed out so prematurely." The game glitched, a response, perhaps, from the spectral inhabitant. Alex didn't falter. He pressed on, his words slicing through the uncanny stillness. "But this isn't the way, Ben. You can't keep haunting this place, clinging to a world that's moved on without you. It's time to let go." The game world trembled, the pixels on the screen flickering with what seemed like rage. But Alex stood his ground, his voice unwavering. "I'm not your enemy, Ben. I'm just a player who got caught up in your story, and I believe that you deserve peace, not this endless torment." There was a pause, the tension in the virtual air taut as a bowstring. The game world seemed to hold its breath, waiting, watching. And then, as if a great weight had been lifted, the tension snapped. The glitches eased, the digital world stabilizing once more. In a moment of silence, the game returned to normal, as if Ben had finally found peace. It was a battle waged not with weapons, but with words. A confrontation with the ghostly echoes of a past tragedy. And in the end, it seemed, empathy and understanding had triumphed over fear. The haunting tale of Ben Drowned had reached its poignant end, leaving behind a chilling echo in the annals of gaming lore. With Ben's departure, Alex could finally breathe. A sense of tranquility washed over him like a wave receding after a stormy night. His life, once overshadowed by the eerie presence of Ben, slowly returned to its usual rhythm. It was as if a fog had lifted, revealing the world in its bright, unblemished form. Alex kept the game, not as a memento of dread, but as a stark reminder of his extraordinary encounter. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a beacon in the darkness that reminded him of the boundaries between reality and the digital world. His nights were once more filled with dreams of ordinary things, no more spectral figures, no more drowning nightmares. The unsettling echoes of Ben's existence faded into obscurity, leaving behind a strange sense of calm. In the end, it was not just a game, but a chilling tale of a spirit trapped in the digital world, a tale of Ben who drowned. Dear viewers, we have now reached the end of this chilling tale. I hope you found it as intriguing as it was eerie. Your support has been invaluable in bringing such stories to life. For those interested in supporting us further, do visit our Patreon page. Your contributions help us dive deeper into the unknown and share these extraordinary tales with you. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on our story. Did it give you chills? Or do you have a similar story to share? We'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our upcoming videos. In our next video, we will explore another unsettling tale that's sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. So stay tuned for more. Until then, keep exploring the unknown. Goodbye and take care.